Welcome to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. And on today's show, we have plenty of NFL news and rumors to get to. But before we dive into all that, I want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel as we have daily NFL content. We're counting down to the draft, free agency, trades, and more. We're also looking ahead to the Super Bowl next week. It's all in one place. Be a real one. Subscribe to the channel for free today. YouTube.com/@ChatSports. We'll get started with today's show. A trade involving Aaron Rodgers. Is that on the horizon potentially? Well, the rumors are certainly flying right now as Davante Adams, the wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, has liked tweets about Rodgers playing for the Raiders, including from our own Mitchell Renz of the Raiders Report here at Chat Sports. Adams also claimed Rodgers is moving to his neighborhood. Here's the tweet specifically. You can see the quote tweet there from Davante Adams when he was asked which neighborhood is Aaron Rodgers moving to. He said, mine. And then here is the screenshot from Mitchell Renz's tweet here at Chat Sports with the like of the tweet from Mitch from Davante Adams. So very, very interesting there. Here is Aaron Rodgers on missing Davante Adams, stating, I feel like obviously losing Davante was a big deal. We didn't fill that void. Nobody can. He's superhuman. He's phenomenal. There was hope in certain things that were going to fill that void. Ultimately, that just didn't happen. He went on to say, the things we were able to do, I think, may have been taken for granted at times because we were able to create so many different things in the moment over the years, and especially the last couple of years, because not much changed other than his absence from the lineup. So, very fascinating to see this all unfold here within the last several hours. More on this situation here in just a second, but before we do, I want you guys to chime in here on NFL Daily. Do you think a Rodgers trade to Las Vegas is going to happen? If you think you do, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Y for yes, in for no. Will Rodgers be headed to Sin City? Now, another interesting thing that we have found out is that Aaron Rodgers says that he wasn't going to the 49ers at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So that appears to be not something that's happening. Obviously, the 49ers have their own question marks at the quarterback position with Brock Purdy being out for the next 6 months and Jimmy Garoppolo going to free agency and Trey Lance, his questions with the injuries he's had. But nonetheless, here's a list of the top Rodgers trade destinations here on a Chat Sports. It begins with the New York Jets, but I don't think the Las Vegas Raiders are too far behind. Tennessee, that team in Nashville trying to make a splash of some sorts. Indy has liked the veteran quarterbacks over the last few years. The Washington Commanders at 5, that's a team that has built up that defense with Chase Young and several other players there, but they've been looking for a quarterback for a while. The New England Patriots at 6. Big questions about how much they can get out of Mac Jones potentially. They're hoping that he could take a big step with Bill O'Brien there. The New Orleans Saints haven't found a quarterback since Drew Brees left town. And then there's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who found out this week that Tom Brady was done. Could Rodgers follow in Brady's footsteps there in Tampa Bay? The numbers the past 4 seasons from Aaron Rodgers, he was playing at an MVP level back in 2021 and 2020 with back-to-back MVP seasons, 48 touchdowns, 5 picks in 2020, 2021 at 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. His first year without Davante Adams, the numbers weren't bad for Aaron Rodgers, but they weren't great either, and it was a significant drop-off from what we saw when he was paired with Davante Adams. Just 26 touchdowns. Interceptions went way up to 12 and just under 3,700 yards. Completion percentage down as well from around a nice number of 69% in 2021 to close to 65% in 2022. Now, Rodgers' contract, it does open some things for a trade potentially. Here's what happens to Aaron's contract if he's traded. There would be a cap hit in 2023 of about $15.79 million, an option bonus for 2025 at 58.3, cap hit in 2024 of 32.5, 2024 option, which would then go to 2026 at $47 million, and then a 2024 option guaranteed in early 2024. So very interesting to see how this would all play out. We'll keep you posted and see if a trade ultimately goes down here. Paid WRs, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports, is where you'll want to place your bets, and you can bet on all sorts of stuff, from college basketball to the NBA to the NFL and more, and you get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, get $125 to spend for free when you use the promo code NFL Daily. Lines out for the Super Bowl have the Eagles as a slight favorite, barely above a pick'em at this point. Philadelphia favored by 1. The over-under, though, at 49.5, that's what has my intrigue. I'm taking the over personally. Get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code NFL Daily. Let's take a look at the Colts coaching search now. This has been a bizarre one. Their former head coach, Frank Reich, already has a new home in Carolina, but the search continues to drag on. Indy is considering doing a third round of interviews, which just never happens in the National Football League. Colts and Cardinals jobs are the only ones that are still remaining unfilled. Some of the second round of interviews: Jeff Saturday, Don Martindale, Raheem Morris, just to name a few. Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach for the Raiders last year, one of the notable names on this list as well. And you look at all of this, it's interesting because it doesn't seem like there's the obvious choice of what Indianapolis is going to do. One name to keep in mind, Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, has done a really good job with developing Joe Burrow and for this offense being as efficient as it is. And not even just Joe Burrow. You're talking about what he's done with Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and some of these young cats that have really come together here. Been there since 2019, was QB coach for the Raiders, also spent some time in Detroit as well as Denver. This search is weird, but Jim Irsay, with the way he operates, I am not surprised that this search has been weird. And I got to tell you, I think it can't be Jeff Saturday. I hope it's not Jeff Saturday, but something tells me that Jim Irsay and the Indianapolis Colts are trying to find an excuse, trying to find a reason to hire Jeff Saturday. The other candidates, all you could make a case for. But Jeff Saturday has shown you nothing, absolutely nothing. No reason why he should be that head coach. But something tells me that Jim Irsay wants to hire Jeff Saturday and is trying to find a way to make that happen. We'll see if it does or not. Who will be the Colts' next head coach? Will it be Jeff Saturday? Will it be somebody else? One of those other names that we mentioned that interviewed for the job. Let us know in the comment section who you think will end up in Indy when it's all said and done there with the Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about Tee Higgins now. Could a trade be on the horizon for Tee Higgins? Plenty of rumors, or maybe just hopes, of the Bengals moving on from Higgins. The Bengals, of course, have big contracts already with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They don't have to move Higgins, but they certainly could get a nice package of sorts if they trade their young receiver, who, even with playing with all the talent that's there in Cincinnati, he still had over 1,000 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns off of 74 catches last year. And we know this much. When it comes to wide receivers in the National Football League, that they are not cheap anymore. We saw the price skyrocket for wideouts last offseason. Tyreek Hill got paid. Davante Adams got paid. Cooper Kupp, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. I mean, a number of guys all got paid this past offseason, and you wonder if that price is going to continue to come up. And one of the things that you may notice, just looking at your screen too, is that a lot of guys, they got paid, but they couldn't find the money, even top talent like Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams, within their own organization to pay those guys. They had to be traded to get that money that they wanted. And so when you look at a guy like Tee Higgins potentially, And knowing what Cincinnati's got to pay some of these other guys, there might just not be enough mouths to feed in Cincinnati when it's all said and done. They might be forced to make a move. So something to follow to see if Tee Higgins is going to end up elsewhere to get the payday he wants. Let's play the percentages here on NFL Daily. What is the percentage chance the Bengals trade Tee Higgins? Put a number on it. 1 through 100, maybe somewhere around 69%. I don't know. Give me a number that you have as the percentage chance Tee Higgins gets traded out of Cincinnati. Some of the notable fits for Higgins include the New York Football Giants, who are obviously looking for receiver help for Daniel Jones or whoever is going to be their quarterback next year. Baltimore is desperate for a receiver, but obviously you have the problems of trading within a division, which we don't see happen very often. Chicago also needing receiver help. Their receiver room's been depleted the last couple of years. The New England Patriots, Jacoby Myers, he's going to be a free agent. Have to think that New England's probably going to re-sign him. Maybe you pair him up with Tee Higgins. That could be interesting. And then there's the Dallas Cowboys. When you get past CeeDee Lamb, they don't really have much in that receiving core. Maybe pair Lamb and Higgins together. That could be a possibility. We'll see. Let's talk about Trey Lance now. Could a trade involving Trey Lance be happening soon? Brock Purdy, remember he's dealing with that elbow injury we told you about at the top of the show that's going to put him out for 6 months, and he was very impressive in his rookie campaign, filling in when Jimmy Garoppolo went down, which was after, of course, Trey Lance went down. And there's a chance that Trey Lance needs Tommy John surgery, typically something that we talk about involving baseball players, right? And the 49ers could elect to keep Trey Lance instead of looking to trade him and ride with Purdy. So you got the Tommy John factor involved in the quarterback room, and then the 49ers electing to potentially keep Lance instead of looking to trade him, ride with Purdy. I mean, there's a lot to unfold here. Somebody's got to go, okay? I mean, the Niners have to get something. I highly doubt we're going to enter next year and the quarterback room is going to consist of Lance and Brock Purdy. Someone likely out. I would think that Trey Lance is the more likely of the two to get traded, personally speaking. Name a player you think gets traded around the NFL. Doesn't have to be involving the 49ers. Who do you think ultimately is going to get axed and moved on? Is it Tee Higgins? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Who's going to get traded? Give me an answer in the comments section. We'll tell you more about this Trey Lance situation. The career stats on Trey Lance, we haven't seen a whole lot of him. 8 games played, 4 games that he started. Completion percentage below 54%. Less than 800 yards passing, 6 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 235 rushing yards. And remember that there was a long gap between his last start at North Dakota State and his first start in the National Football League. This is a guy that just hasn't seen the field a whole lot the last couple of years with the way things have shaped out. Remember, his time leaving North Dakota State was right in the midst of the COVID year and all that, so it was a mess of just the length of how much we've seen Trey Lance. It just hasn't been much over this stretch. The quarterback room there in San Francisco, you can see Brock Purdy has earned the right, you would think, based on the way that he played, to be the starting quarterback next year, but Trey Lance there, Garoppolo likely gone, of course. He enters free agency. Josh Johnson, no reason to bring him back. You know, if I were the 49ers, though, I would keep Lance because of how much you've given up for him. Personally, I think I would do whatever I could to live in a world where you keep Purdy and Lance, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to take one or the other more than likely. So we'll see how things work out, but you've given a lot. You've invested a lot in Trey Lance. Are you really going to let that slide? We'll see. A lot to figure out in that situation there. Folks, this has been a lot of fun being here with you on NFL Daily. We're covering the NFL each and every day here on the channel. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now, and we'll see you next time here on NFL Daily.